Well, good morning to you. What's today? Monday. I know this. Must be Monday because somebody posted a video and said it was Sunday, and that was yesterday, so yeah. Anyway, 31st of July 2023. Church bells ringing 8 o'clock. I've already been I've done a wash load already, and I've already mixed half a bag of concrete. I just had half a bag that I was falling over, so I mixed it and threw it in the hole. My first works of the day will be tidying up this lavender, because it's all sort of got horribly overgrown and it's out of shape, and it's in the way of where the path will be going. You know, the path with the nicely rolled pattern on it. So, yeah, we'll tackle this. Don't know what I'm going to do with it all yet. I think the formation courgette eating team have a use for it, so they might win a certain amount of lavender. But my next job really is to go shopping. Yes, right, let's knock out this little shopping trip. Nothing exciting today, just essentials. But I know you like to see what I see. What is today? Well, as I said, it's Monday, 31st of July. Some of you will be ahead of me on this, and some of you will say, well, of course, it's the commemoration of Saint Ignatius of Loyola. Now, I had all sorts of troubles talking about him with French people, because French people don't call him Saint Ignatius, they call him Saint Ignace. And of course he's not to be confused with Saint Ignatius of Antioch. Some of you will not be very great fans of Saint Ignatius. You know, you will think of him as one of the co-founders of the Order of Jesuits. And I know some of you will have little sort of nervous shivers down your spine when we talk about Jesuits. But what he did give us was some wonderful prayers. You know, we think of that wonderful prayer, "Teach us, good Lord, to serve thee as thou deservest. To give and not to count the cost, to fight and not to heed the wounds, to labour and not to seek for any reward save that of knowing that we do thy will." So what are we going to do on St Ignatius's feast day? Well, we're going to look at the fields. Sunflowers, some are still only just opening and blooming, but many are already finished and waiting to be cut. We will see how tall the maize has got. Now, maize is a wonderful crop, and it sort of goes from poking two little leaves out of the ground to ready to cut in a very short time. The weather forecast for today, well, it's going to be lovely most of the day. Slight possibility of rain this afternoon. Right, let's look at these sunflowers. Yeah, you see there, as flowers, they're pretty much finished. So the next thing for those to do is to dry off and be cut. And then the cycle will be repeated. You know, the fields will be ploughed and harrowed, that's a good thing. And hopefully they'll grow something different there next year. One of the big issues in agriculture is too many farms are resorting to monoculture, you know, growing the same crop year after year after year in the same field. And of course the only way you can do that is if you use lots of artificial pesticides and artificial fertilizers, lots of chemical. Now thankfully here in France there's quite a strong resistance against chemical farming. You know, it makes so much more sense. You know, there's a field of maize. Next year it would be good if that was sunflower, and where there is sunflower, next year maize. But a lot of the world has gone to this completely artificial, chemical sort of farming, which is, I think, and a lot of people say, not good for human health, not good for the environment, and only good for the profits of some of the big chemical companies. Now, I'll probably get told off for that. You know, I'm not a scientist, I'm not privy to all of the secrets of chemical farming, but you know, I just don't see that it can be good for us. Good for the people that sell the product. Oh, there's an interesting car just passing our front, a little old Renault, what was that, a Renault 4? Crossing the River Clays. Go to Google Earth, follow the course of the River Clays. Well, I don't know how I managed it, because I didn't think I drove that quickly. But I've arrived here in Yzeure long before the shops open. So, what to do? Well, we could sit and drink coffee, except we're here before the coffee shops are open. I have drunk coffee from this establishment. I can recommend it. I've not stayed there, so I've never heard anything bad about it, but I don't know whether it's a good hotel or a bad hotel. But for holidaymakers, well, this time of year we see a fair number of foreign cars parked here, and they all seem to enjoy their stay. And I can never look at this church without looking skywards. You know, Brother George posted a video of him working on a church spire. Yeah, it wasn't quite as high as this one. But isn't it a joy to sort of watch the birds? Now, of course, the birds are flying about too quickly for me to try to pan round and follow them. That will make everybody dizzy. But the swallows are already up catching insects for their breakfast, which is good for us. Of course, what is open is the gate that leads us to the grotto. And I'm standing here because I was just reading this notice that someone has sellotaped the gate. Yeah, okay. Whatever that said, I don't know. That's quite an imposing house. I'm given to understand that in times gone by that was what we might call the presbytery. You know, the house where the priests lived. These days, I don't know who lives there. I've seen families there. But that is quite a building, isn't it? I was going to use the word edifice, and then I thought, no, that's a bit too pretentious for us YouTubers, but yeah, building, edifice. I often think of church buildings as being silent witness. You know, a church building demonstrates to us that people like ourselves thought that worshipping God was that important, that they would build these magnificent structures which point us towards heaven and lead us towards God. And I know at least one of you enjoys watching people watering the plants. He's not doing it in a comical style, he's just getting on and watering. You know, no doubt he would think we're silly for giggling when I show a video of me watering the garden. Oh, Sunday the 13th of August. There's a brocante here in Yzeure. We've missed the farmer's market. Never mind. And while I'm here, spending a bit of time pretending I'm a tourist, I thought I'd just show you this. I don't know if it works or not. No, I suspect it's been turned off because I suspect it probably doesn't have a certificate to say that the water is safe to drink.